Okay, in this lesson we're going to look at putting our social media buttons, which we made earlier, into our Dreamweaver site. We're going to put these into the footer and we're going to use some internal JavaScript to create a rollover effect for our images. Okay, you can see at the moment we're in our design view and my cursor is just down in my footer at the start of some text down there. So I want my social media buttons to go into the footer. Okay. The first thing we're going to do before we do that is we're going to create a JavaScript page with just nothing in it. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to come over and I want you to find your JS folder that we created earlier and just right click on your JS folder. I want you to go up to New File and we're going to just type in the name of our JS file and we'll call it button.js and then just delete whatever is there. So it should be just called button.js. Just click outside the white area. And we'll open that button.js file up, and you can see it's open up here and there's nothing really in it, just a bit of commented script. That's fine, just leave that open for the moment and I'll show you how we're going to use that later. Now the way we insert our buttons is we click where we want our button to go in our footer, which is down here in front of our text. And we come up here to our images button in our common tab, and we'll click the little drop down. And this one we're going to not just insert an image, we're going to insert a rollover image. So down to the third one and rollover image. Going to give this an image name and we're going to call it Twitter. Now the original image is the image that will be there first and the rollover image will be the image you see when you mouse over the button. So to start with I'm going to choose my image and the first one is one that I'm going to have the 45% transparency we made earlier. So it's actually going to be a darker button and then a lighter button as you mouse over it. So I'll just click on that one. And it's just overriding for me, but you probably won't get that. And my rollover one's going to be my 70% Twitter image. And there we go, we've got them there. You've got a little box here for preload rollover images. Leave that ticked because we want that to, we want the web browser that the person's viewing the site in to download that second image early. So when we do mouse over, it comes straight up. If we don't have that ticked, it actually has to load the image after you roll over it the first time, and we certainly don't want that. We'll put some alternate text in. We'll just call Twitter. Okay, and we're also going to put a site in that we want this to go to. Now, I don't want you going to personal Twitter sites, just we're going to go to generic Twitter site, but I definitely want you to have a link in there showing me that you can go to a site. So we're going to put http://www.twitter.com. Perfect. So when the person clicks on that button, it will go to the twitter.com site. Let's press OK. Okay, you can see the button has now appeared down here, and you can see the properties for that button below here. When we click on it, you can see the properties for that button. You can see it's going to that address, twitter.com, and you can see a few other things set in there as well. Now, down in the target one, I'm just going to select one of the target ones. We're going to select blank. Now, the reason we select blank is that when it opens Twitter, it will open that in a separate tab or a separate browser screen, so we don't want it opening over the top of our page. You don't have to select that one if you like, but it just makes it a little nicer. Okay, let's have a look now how that looks. And you can see we need to save it because our asterisk is up in our index, so Control S, to save it, and we're going to press F12 to see what that looks like. Okay, now I'll just drag that over into your view so you can see. And you should be able to see that now. And you can see our little button down there. And there's our Twitter button. And as we roll over that button, you can see that it changes from that 45% transparency to 75%. And let's check when we click it. Okay, when we click it, it's opening up a separate page for the twitter.com page. Fantastic. Okay, that's not all we need to do. There's a little bit more we need to do just to tidy this up. So I'm going to get rid of our browser screen for the moment. We're going to come back, and now we're currently in design view, and you know we created that button.js script, and there's a reason for that. We're going to have a look at the script that created when we popped that button in, because it created some JavaScript. Unfortunately, it put it straight into our HTML code. So first of all, we're down where our button is, and this is the bit of script it put in for the button, and that's fine. That's our markup language. We can leave that in there. That's all good. We're going to go up the top, and you'll see that at the top near your page, you'll see a bunch of script that looks really funny, a lot different to what we're used to. From about here, ooh, a little bit too far I went then. down to here, the end script tag. So that bit of script there, I'm going to take out of there. I'm going to pop it into my button.js script. So I'll just do that again so you can see. So if you come down to the closing script tag and just highlight up and find the opening script tag, and there it is there. And we're just going to hold down the control key and press X. Okay, and that will cut that out of there. And we're going to pop that into our button.js script. So I'll pop that in there. Now when we do that, we'll probably get an error. And the reason you might see an error in line 3 is because we've left in the script tags up the top, which we don't actually need. So this is already a script file or a JS script file. So that very top one where it says script type equals text JavaScript, you can delete that. And the very bottom one where it has the closing tag, let's delete that one as well. And your error should go away. Then you've just got the pure JavaScript inside your JavaScript file. Now that's all nice and good, but we need to tell our index.html file where to find that JS file. So we've got 2 asterisks, so let's Control S just to save our button.js. Let's Control S to save our index.hs. Now the same way we linked over here to our CSS file, we now need to create a link to our JS file. So our HTML page knows where to look for those JS files. So there's a way we can do that in Dreamweaver. So let's click just below our CSS file inside our head tags. So it goes inside our head tags. Let's come up to Insert up the top and down to HTML and across to Script Objects and then across to Script. Okay, so I'll just leave that out there for a moment. Insert HTML, Script Objects and Script. When we go in there, you can see up the top it's going to say, all right, I'm guessing you want text JavaScript because it's probably the most common script to put in, but there are a lot of scripts you could choose, but we're happy with text JavaScript. And we just need to browse to where that script file might be, nice and easy. Okay, so we browse, we know that it's in our JS folder and it's already chosen that. Remarkably, it said, I know where there's a JS file. We click on our button.js and we press OK. We come back to our dialog box, our script dialog box. Let's just press OK. And there you go. It's popped in this bit of code up the top, and it said, look, we've got a script file linked to this HTML file. You just got to look in this area here, JS button.js, and you've got to look for that file. And so hopefully that is going to look for that file. So let's see if that works. We'll press Control S, we'll press F12, and we'll go back out to our script file, and I'm just getting that saved. Going back out, I'll drag that across and let's have a look and see if our button still works nicely even though we've moved our JS across. Oh, there we go. We mouse over. We get that nice fade into a lighter color. That's good. That's working. When I click on it, I get my twitter.com beauty. Okay, you might also like to give that button a title because that will, when they mouse over it, they'll know it's Twitter, because at the moment we don't have any text on our button. So if we go back out to design, we right click on our picture, and if you remember, we go up to edit tag image. So edit tag image and down to style sheet accessibility, and we'll give that a title of Twitter and press OK. And that's all you need to do, and that should give us a title. Okay, well done.